Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-52439. You know. 205-964-52439. You know.
And we are live for the final day of November 30th. Here to talk about some real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesale and real estate where your cash and credit isn't needed to put deals together. I am Ty, aka Flipman, of the lovely staff here to put this on. We're a little late, technical issues, difficulties that we thought we had ironed out from yesterday, which prevented us from coming on. So here we are. So we're here to answer some questions. Make sure you share this, like it, comment. If you don't get your question answered immediately, you can always post them in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos, and I answer those on a daily basis. So welcome to one and all in one. And the title of this particular video, can you wholesale more than houses? And the answer is yes. I'm actually going to have an opportunity for you to do just that, to partner with me on. And this time, the size of the city really doesn't matter in most cases. So there are other opportunities I mentioned in the past don't still exist. But I'm already just trying to add on new, because bring in 2022. All right. Oh. I'm a lyricist. Okay. Let's get it.
I don't have anything right now. All right, first question I have is on YouTube. So do you want me to click on the question? I don't have to. Okay. All right. This one is from Grand Bill SDSF. He said, "Hi, quick question. What do I do with earnest money if I don't have a title company yet?"
Well, if you don't have a title company yet, and what he's talking about, he's actually done a contract with the seller, and the earnest money doesn't need to be held with the seller. It needs to be placed with a third party, normally a title company or a closing attorney. So in that case, if the seller actually wants you to verify whether the earnest money deposit is being held, then what you'll do is you'll have to find them. Okay, and the simple way that you can do that is use the power of networking, aka social media. You can post that question in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos. On my actual Facebook group, Wholesale Real Estate with the Flipman, and what title companies or what closing attorneys are wholesaler friendly in XYZ city. All right, and so or you can post it in local groups.
Someone said it's only one person saying it on my end though, so I'm not sure. Can y'all let us know if you can hear him well or not?
Yeah. And what I was saying. But anyway, you'll post it in the group. Someone will help you, and so you use one of those third parties to hold earnest money deposit. Now, what may happen in there once you get a buyer, they may not want to use them, so it would have to be moved at that point to whoever the buyer, to assume that's what you all negotiate. So
All right, the first question on Instagram: what do you think about selling land in Gurley? I'm thinking that's Gurley, Alabama. If I'm saying that right.
Yeah, Gurley.
Gurley.
Yeah, that's it. What county is that? I think I know where it is, but it's very small.
Very small.
Oh, you know where it is?
Yeah, it's over. It's not close to Huntsville, but it's like on
In that general area. Okay, yeah. So like with anything, the more people, the more real estate, the more buyers.
Just turn them up. You may have turned them down a little too low. The mics. Turn your mic up because they're
They
saying
all the way up to 15.
Instagram said I can hear.
it's just YouTube. Some of them are saying it sounds off in the distance. Is this supposed to be in the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, can you hear me now? YouTube. Can you hear me now? Use Tube.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right, boom. Oh, wow, okay. All right, we had a quick camera switch, so. All right, so what did I say originally? What the question was, if they have a title company, they have earnest money deposit, who holds the earnest money deposit? And I was letting them know that a title company or closing attorney needs to have one. He said he didn't have a title company already. So I told him to use the power of social media, Facebook groups mainly, and just reach out, especially in like mine, Wholesale Real Estate with the Flip Man. You can text the word group to the 205-964-5243 to join the group. Ask the question, what title company, what closing attorneys are wholesaler friendly in XYZ city? And you can do that in local wholesale groups or real estate investment groups to do the same thing. So someone should be able to help you. But then I also said, now when you get a buyer, they may not want to use who you're using, assume that's what you all negotiate as far as the title company or closing attorney, and then it may have to be moved. So, well, it would have to be moved.
All right, the first question on TikTok: are you still giving out free contracts?
Oh, yeah. Just text the word contract to the 205-964-5243, and you'll get a link back with an instructional video on how to fill it out for sellers and buyers, also how to get it signed quickly electronically, and how to access it for free.
All right, we're back on Instagram. A lot of mentors say you shouldn't fix and flip until you've wholesaled a few times. Why is that? Because I don't see the logic in that.
Well, so you're basing it on. Well, I totally agree with that for most people, right? Because what wholesaling, let's go with what some numbers here. Like famous words of Jay-Z: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. All right, so okay, let's explain why they said that first. Okay, so what wholesaling is going to do? Number one, it's low risk, high reward. We all want to be in businesses like that. Low risk, high reward. Okay. Now, and what that simply means is I would have either zero to very few, maybe a few $100s invested to make thousands of dollars, right? That's low risk, high reward. Now, if you're flipping, you're going to be high risk, possibly high reward, right? Now, because somebody's money is going to have to be at risk, somebody's and or someone's credit is going to have to be at risk. So let me give you a perfect example. Well, let me go back before I get into that. All right. Also, what wholesaling is going to do is, number one, teach you how to locate great deals. You won't ever lose that as a real estate investor. You won't ever lose that mindset and that knowledge of how to locate and find great deals. If you can locate and find great real estate deals consistently, you never have to be broke in this country, right? Okay, so the next thing is, whenever you're whenever you want to gravitate over to flipping, is the question is, then now you're still going to have that wholesaler's mindset as far as negotiating great deals, which can only benefit to you, but it's profitable. Okay, so most people think that you just automatically start out wholesaling and then you start flipping. And that's okay, but if we base it on just financial sense, they got this term called return on investment, ROI, right? If you ready for the calculator? You got your phone out, Oksana? If I spend $100 and make $10,000, what's the ROI? $100 and make $10,000, what's the ROI? Return on investment, meaning what did I spend and what did I get back and what's that percentage? What if I spend $100,000 and make, we'll say $40,000, right? So basically you're selling it for $140. You spend $100, you sell it for $140. So you got $100,000 tied up and you sell it for $140. Now, just off the surface, it sounds like the $40,000 is a better, $40,000 option is better because you made $40,000 versus $10,000. Okay, now let's break down the details of those. It only took me 2 weeks to make that $10,000. It may take you a minimum of 3 months to make that $40,000. That's one thing, right? So at $100, assuming that every deal we did, we're just going to use simple math, that every deal that you got into, it took you $100,000 to get into the deal, and it only took me $100 to get into the deal. To make $10,000, it took you $100 to make $40,000. So for me, in order for me to have 10 deals working at one time, I need a total of $1,000. That's 10 times 100. In order for you to have 10 deals working at the same time, you need 10 times $100,000, which is $1 million. All right, so have you come up with the ROIs on that?
ROI what? The 10,000?
Yeah, what's the ROI on me spending 100 and I get 10,000? What's the percentage?
That's
9,900%. Most people are happy with an investment if they can get 8% back over the course of a year. What is it for the 100,000 on 140?
So
you invested 100,000 and you got back 100,000, 140,000. While she's doing that, I think you get the point, but we're gonna still come up with the numbers. Don't get caught up into that HGT stuff. I just gave you the numbers. Plus, you can be wholesaling in multiple cities. You can't buy and fix them. Well, some people can. Most people can't. They can't run an operation fixing and flipping in multiple cities. That's why Zillow folded their tent. And they're a $1 billion company and couldn't do it. Now their game plan wasn't that good on it, but the point being that is a very difficult task. But as a wholesaler, you can look at my good friend Jamil and his partners with Keegley. They can be in multiple cities on a high level and wholesale over 1,000 deals in a year. You can't do that as a flipper. Plus, they're low risk, high reward. That's always the business we would love to be in a business that's low risk, high reward. So what's that percentage? 40% versus 9,900%. You tell me. You tell me what you should be doing. Next. Who's next?
All right. This person is in South Carolina. They just got their real estate license. They said, let's do some deals.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
All right. Same thing on TikTok. Can you wholesale if there's a lien on a property?
Can you wholesale if there's a lien on the property?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. The lien has to just be settled. It'll be settled at closing. So the price that you and the seller and you agree upon has to cover what they owe. It doesn't have to, but normally that's how it works. Most people are not going to sell you a property for less than what they owe. It happens. I've been in an actual closing. Lady bought a couple of grand to the closing to make it work, and it was a couple $100,000 property. But you know, that's rare. It only happened. All the deals I did, that's the only time that's ever happened. So if the price that works for you covers what they owe, whether that's liens, mortgages, taxes, or whatever, unpaid taxes or whatever, then yeah, and they're willing to accept that price. Obviously, yeah, you can do those all day and twice on Sundays. Those are sometimes the reasons why they are motivated to sell, is because of what they may owe or what outstanding liens or unpaid taxes or something like that may be out there. So.
All right, this person on Instagram, they said, I need buyers. Can you help?
Yeah, just text us. Text 5050 to the number 205-492-3425.
All right, this one is from Facebook, from Malcolm Cunningham. He said, hey, Footman, quick question. Do you use creative financing through hard money lenders? And when would be the best time to use a hard money lender?
Well, and it depends on how hard money lender. Most of them are going to want you to have 20%, 10 to 20, sometimes 30% invested. So being creative, unless the seller's going to give you some money back or something at closing to be able to put up the down payment. Other than that, I really normally don't think about hard money lenders as a way of doing creative financing. Normally, it's between you and the seller and what they're willing to agree to as far as terms. Now, hard money lenders are generally used because you're trying to buy, fix, and flip, or buy, fix, and rent. Normally, that's what they're used for. So. Oh, well, what, good. Okay, so we're assuming everyone knows what a hard money lender is. It's basically a form of private lending of some sort, I guess you would say. Somebody argued me down that it wasn't, but it is. Instead of going to a bank, they make it a lot easier for you to get funds to invest in real estate. Now, a lot of them are different. As I said, normally they're going to do maybe 70, maybe up to 80% of the purchase price. So if you're trying to purchase a property for 100 grand, they may give you 70, 80% of that amount plus the cost of renovations included in that. Now that's the whole thing. The 70, 80 includes the renovation and what they'll end up to and all of that. And so, but that's why, but the total purchase price may be 100,000. So you have to come up with that other 20,000. Again, most people use that form of lending for buy, fixing, and flipping, or to buy, fix, and hold, or as a rental income.
Okay, so this one
and then the interest, and the other thing is the interest rate is normally higher than what you can get at a bank, but they make it easier to get, and it's normally short term, 6 months, a year, maybe a little longer. So.
All right. This one came from $Billion Diva on YouTube. She said, when you deal with an agent on a property, who do you sign the contract? Who do you sign the contract with, especially if it's a corporate property?
They say if you're doing what now?
When you deal with an agent on a property, who do you sign the contract with, especially if it's a corporate property?
Well, the agent is only acting as a liaison or a hired agent for the owner. They're representing them, but you're actually signing an agreement with whoever owns the property, whether that's in an individual's name or a corporation. Someone at that corporation or LLC or whatever that business entity can sign off on it. But you're not signing a contract with the agent. They're just representing the seller of that property.
Okay. This one is from Rosemary Bowers on YouTube. She said, I keep receiving an offer to work with you, but I can't schedule an appointment. What should I do? I'm new to the business and would really love to work with you.
Well, that's handled by my the team, I guess the core side of what I offer outside of the free videos or whatever. And basically what happens is we send out a text message and it fills up quickly. I don't know what else to tell you. We only have so many slots that we can offer at a time. So, but you can reach out to me. I'll tell you what it costs or whatever, and you can go from there. So, and what's included.
All right, this is on Instagram. Who would you say is the best place to find buyers? I'm guessing that's what they're asking.
What's the best place to find buyers?
Yeah, well, I guess we're the best place to find buyers. Oh, in Phoenix, Arizona. They just added that.
Oh, okay. Well, there are a number of ways to attract buyers. Networking, as I said, always work. Now we're assuming that so you're trying to build a list without an actual deal, because the best way to build a buyers list, in my opinion, is with a great deal. A great deal. You know, you put a lot of stuff on the contract, don't mean it's a great deal or whatever, because you know if it's a great deal, you're going to have multiple people call you about buying that property, and so you can only sell it to one of them. The other, if 10 people call you, the other 9, you collect their information for future deals. And I say their information, obviously their contact info, what areas do they buy in, how many do they buy in, what price range, what level of repairs they like to deal with, and so on. So, you know, that's how you simply build your buyers list. Now, if you're trying to build one before you actually have a property on the contract, then then I have a video that I think is probably one of the better ways to leverage real estate agents, you know, because whenever someone fix and flips a property, I'm gonna say 95% or higher use real estate agents. So they could be a real gateway on the buyer side, which I really frown upon on the seller side. But on the buyer side, they can be could add some real value to assisting you with a buyer list, because at that point, on that side of it, the agent and yourself are on the same page, because the more the house that you have under contract sells for, the more you make, the more they make. So, you know, but if you text the word buyers with an S to the 205-964-5243, the video that I have there will explain in detail how that works.
We don't have any more right now.
You don't? Okay, so good. All right. So I have a video that where is it? If I've been solely inspired by a video I did a couple of months. Well, it ain't been a month. I don't even know if it's been a month. With Greg out of Atlanta on self-storage. Over the years, I think I may have done no more than 2 of those, and that's by accident. But mini storage, self-storage, they're everywhere. If there's a facility sitting across the street from the one grocery store in the town that I grew up in, they're everywhere, like literally. Because the town I grew up in is less than 1,000 people, and my man keep them full. They think he maybe have about 40 units sitting there looking pretty, just generating cash. So those are normally mom and pop opportunities, right? Now you're going to have your large outfits out there, self-storage. Well, maybe I'm going too fast. Let me back up. Question on this particular video is, the title was, "Can you wholesale more than houses?" Of course you can, and we're talking about, in most cases, commercial. The difference is, well, the similarities are, if you find a motivated seller, put them under contract, find a buyer, doesn't even have to be a cash buyer on that side of it. Boom, you can stand in the middle and get paid. The only difference is getting to that point versus houses. With houses, you're just basically going to comp out the property based on the condition of it. You come up with a price that should work as far as what would be a great deal or not. Doesn't work that way with commercial. First, starting that with commercial, you have all types of different properties, from hotels, motels, to retail space, to retail strip centers, office, medical office, obviously business office. You have multifamily, which is 5 units or more. You have warehousing, industrial. You have commercial land. What am I missing? And then you have well, I said multifamily. And then you have self-storage or mini storage. And that's where people pay to lease space for their stuff, whatever that is. All right. So As I said, I was going into it. I did an interview, 22 years old. I don't even think he was 22 at the time, made 90,000. He and a partner split 90 grand on a self-storage facility that they found in a town of around 7,000 people in population. All right, so why not leverage my following? You make some money, I can make some money, we all win, right? So if you'll text the word units to the 205-964-5243 in this video. I think I'm holding that way, you can see it. In that video, I'll explain how you can partner with me on those. And what I like about this is a lot of these owners are very easy to reach on these mom and pop operations. Now you want to avoid the large the national brands and some of the regional brands as self-storage, because those are corporate, not going to get deals on those, right? Not for what we're looking for. National, I'm trying to come up so I can start naming some of these for you to avoid. National brands. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. All right, so public storage, extra space, U-Haul. Let me get back to U-Haul real quick because that can be confusing. Cube Smart, Life Storage, National Storage Affiliates. I think that's more of a mothership and small brands under that one. Storage Mart, Prime Storage Group, Metro Storage. All right, so back to U-Haul though, sometimes some of the mom and pops will have U-Haul trucks on their facilities because U-Haul partners with small companies like that where you can lease out their vehicles, but it may not actually be a U-Haul actually self-storage facility. So, and normally you can tell because they just have a big sign out there that says U-Haul storage or whatever. And so just pay attention to that. And so, again, you probably already know where one of these units are right now. You are probably renting space or leasing space from one of them right now, which makes it even better. So if you text the word units to the 205-964-5243, and that video will go into a little bit more detail on what I just said. But back to the initial question, yes, you can wholesale those different, other than houses. With commercial, the game is just different in the sense of everybody involved are investors. From hopefully you are investor minded. A lot of times a broker may be involved, the buyers and investor minded, and the actual seller. Whereas with houses, normally, not always, but a lot of times the seller is not investor minded. It may even be a real estate agent involved. They may not be investor minded. Most of the time the buyer is, but they may be a brand new buyer, maybe their first actual deal, or they just have some money and they're ready to spend it, which normally is a good thing for you. But with commercial, everybody's investor minded. So now there's some good things about that, some bad things about that. You're going to need to know what you're talking about in order for people to take you serious in most cases, right? Now, on the flip side of that, putting deals together and being creative, a lot of commercial investors are more comfortable with that than people with houses. So there's a plus and minuses there. But at the end of the day, the paydays are a lot bigger. And just understand when you say, will you comp, like people, a guy texted me earlier today, said, will you comp this commercial property for me? I don't want to do it, period. But I was like, because I sort of wanted to educate him a little bit and say, well, what type of property is it? He told me. And I said, well, what's around it? He said, number of houses. And it was vacant. And I said, that's probably why it's vacant. Probably why it's went out of business. There's no other businesses around. Not saying that's always going to be the case, but from what he was explaining. But you just don't comp it like a house. Most commercial real estate deals are based on basically one thing. How much income is it producing or can it produce, period. And so you're going to look at the gross income annually, the gross expenses annual, and you come up with a number. It's called a net operating income, or NOI. All right, from there, you're trying to establish a cap rate. And some commercial properties, that's more important than others, but the way they evaluate, but that's just the base of it. And depending on the type of commercial property, those numbers will be different. And the expectation on those numbers, you still got to factor in location, condition, does it have any value add opportunity, and so on. So to answer the question, most definitely you can. Again, it's just, we ain't got enough time here for me to try to go into all of that. But so the information is out there. Just do your homework. So do we have questions now? Questions?
Somebody just said thank you earlier.
About?
But that was it. They just said thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it, big bro.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay, this one is from BG Boosted from YouTube. He said, "Hey Flip, love your CRM. Best part is seeing how much money is in the pipeline. Thanks, Big Dog Astro student here."
Oh, okay. What's happening? What up,
Okay.
Jamil?
This one is from Big Boy on YouTube. He said, "Hello, I'd like to know about using hard money to purchase rental properties. What are the pros and cons? Do you recommend any?"
Again, it's going to boil down to the end game. You would say you want to do rentals. So normally with the hard money, that's your end game. They want their money back, normally 6 months, a year, maybe a little longer. So they're going to normally want 10, 20, 30% down, right? And so if you do that purchase, again, if the overall price of it is 100,000, they're normally only going to lend up to 70 to 80%. So you're going to have to come up with that other 20 or 30 grand. If that's not an issue, then now you're going to have a method of cashing them out. Most people will cash them out by refinancing the property with a traditional lender. So if you have that lined up, then boom, the world is yours. You can do as many of those as you would like. Technically, they call that the Burr method, in short.
Okay, we've got one from YouTube from Indira Deja. Forgive me if I say your name wrong. But she said, I've been training how to find self-storage, and also got a lifetime opportunity to not buy the block but buy a community. Can we talk? I want good permanent partners, be a national example of how to help people.
Yeah, I'm always open for conversation, but make some money, Be very transparent on what I know and don't know, which is a lot. I don't.
All right, this is on Instagram. Explain equity partners.
Equity partners?
Yes.
Well, technically, an owner could be an equity partner. Basically, they're going to offer up the equity in a particular property to make the deal work. Never personally done one of those, but I understand it. So they may have, I don't know, the house is worth 200 grand. They may have 150 in equity there, and they may be willing to work with you to put the deal together. Maybe they can get some cash out of the house to renovate it, to sell it, and you all split the deal based on what you agree upon. That's one simple way of doing it. But that's my general understanding. Nothing I've ever done before. So.
All right, this is on TikTok. There's a house by me that's been empty for a long time, but the grass is always mowed. Should I call?
Offers. I don't have the shirt on today, but offers are free. Yes, most definitely. Offers are free. We light over there. I ain't sending a text. I had another text go out today, so we're a little light. So it's cool.
I think they misspelled this, but I think this person said I have a listed house that I paid for. So I guessing they saying what would be the next thing would be to call the owner or write them. I'm confused because they said I have a listed house that I paid for.
Yeah, we're not sure what you mean by that.
Maybe you can guess what they were saying.
I have a list of houses that I pay for.
Oh, He has
Oh,
a
they
list.
just saying list.
Okay, so read it again then.
They just said I have a list of houses. I'm guessing.
Hold
That
your
we paid
mic up.
for.
Hold your mic up. Too.
What would be the next thing to do? Is to call the owner or write them?
If you have phone numbers for them, you want to try to call first. That's going to be the quickest way of communication. Then you can follow up with mail to the ones that you don't speak with.
Okay, no more on this end.
Okay, well, we sort of got started late. Tuesday is a little tough for me. I have a weekly Zoom at in an hour, less than an hour now. So we'll go ahead and end this one today. Again, if you're interested in the self-storage, partner with me on that. Like I said, that one of the great things about this, rural, small town areas are in play. Ideally, want them to be 50 units or more, but that video will explain in more detail. So text the word units to the number here, 205-964-5243. If you didn't get your question answer, place it in the comment section of any video. I answer those on a daily basis. Make sure, if you please, we don't ask for much. If you'll share this, like it, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Join my Facebook group by texting the word group. Get in there, other people in there helping each other all over the country. You can benefit from like-minded individuals. So as we like to always say, we will see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, yeah, and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. Now you know.